Law Office of Christopher Geier. This is Jamie. How can I help you?
Hi, Jamie. My name is Jose Melendez. I'd like to speak to Christopher Geier, please.
He is actually not in the office today. He is at an attorney conference in Charleston.
Oh, cool. All right. We have not received anything in writing ever from Yemassee Municipal Court, but I did receive an email from Christopher Geier saying that he was now our attorney, although when we first called you, he told me that he could only represent one of us. So I'd like to address that first, and then secondly, we really need that Rule 5 video evidence from those other cars.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened was we got pulled over in one of those speed traps where we weren't speeding, where the officer lied about whether we had signaled, and now his boss, the chief of police, has recognized that that's probably true, that he did not tell the truth when he pulled us over. So he's investigating that. But we're trying to get the Rule 5 evidence that we were promised since the 17th of July from all of the other cars. Yemassee has refused to give us anything in writing, not even a receipt for the one Rule 5 evidence that we got, no paperwork saying that we had been there, no paperwork saying what time and date we were to return. Yesterday I was able to get Billy Sanford to tell me verbally that we are to appear on Thursday the 19th at 3 p.m. unless Christopher Geier moves for some sort of a change. But I haven't heard back from Christopher, and we really need that video evidence mailed to us before we have to drive up there. She has to take a day off, 2 days off from school, and arrange for a substitute teacher. This is a third grade teacher from whom they took her last mortgage payment over an arrest in which you will hear on the video that I'm trying to get that Captain Lodeholt says the reason he arrested her was that they were interfering with their business. Now, when I told Chief Josh Detter of the Holly Hill, South Carolina Police Department that, he also he was not very happy to hear that. And he has taken my report alleging that Corporal Mann unlawfully pulled us over, and he's looking into that, but we still need that video evidence.
Okay, well, that is something that you have to get from the court.
Yeah, I know, but they don't answer the phone 90% of the time. More than 90% of the time, it goes to something called MyTel. If you try to call while, like for example, sometimes I got so tired of hearing "Welcome to MyTel" that I would call from another line, then it's busy. So that means they only have one line going into the clerk of court, the police department, and the fire department.
No, they have more than one.
Oh, good. Maybe you can you please tell me the phone number for...
I mean, that's the only phone number that I have for them, but I mean, they have, voicemails, call waiting.
Yeah, they if you try right now, you'll probably get "Welcome to MyTel," and if you get "Welcome to MyTel" and call from a different number, you will get a busy signal. So
well, sometimes you do get a busy signal. They're extremely busy, and
yeah, I see that they have a cash cow that they pull people over within a mile and a half and then steal from them. That's what the newspapers say. That's what we found out before we even our first Google searches for this town involved embezzlement from the judge. That the judge previously in Varnville had stolen from the Victims Assistance Fund. Interestingly enough, you may recall I was asking about how those surcharges were possible, and I have already known that the law under which this was supposedly legal mandates that they must have an annual audit, and that a portion of those funds go to the Victims Assistance Fund. In addition, Holly Hill, South Carolina mayor apparently can't hire an additional police officer because they need to pay back. They borrowed from the Victims Assistance Fund.
I don't know anything about
Holly Hill. Yeah, I get it. So we're still trying to get through.
We don't we don't handle cases in that area. We only handle cases in Yemassee. So I'm not sure what Holly Hill has to do with Yemassee.
Holly Hill Police Corporal Mann is the person that pulled us over unlawfully.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. See, I was missing that part of the story. We don't handle cases in Yemassee.
You don't?
I mean, we handle cases in
Yeah, I get
Yemassee,
it. I get it.
Holly
I
Hill,
get it.
so
I get
know
it. It's
nothing about
very
that
confusing.
place.
I have now
I
had
know nothing about
seven.
the officers.
I have now had 7 attorneys tell me that they can only handle one but not both of our cases, and that would be from anywhere between $3,500 to $5,000 each. However, Ian Dasak, when he was a public attorney and called us up and told us that he would not be assigned because he knew they were not following the law in this regard, offered to take care of it for $1,200 to $1,500, and then later when he quit being a public defender and went to work for a McDonald law firm, now says he can handle both of our cases for $2,000. Christopher Geier, I believe I spoke with him and you about this, told me that he can only handle one but not both of us for some thousands of dollars. But now he is telling me by email that he can handle both of our cases where the Yemassee Municipal Court is his client. So I'm not sure what to do about that other than to use my skills as a data scientist and download artificial intelligence research software that shows me that the definition of extrinsic fraud is officers of the court perpetuating fraud upon the court in conjunction with an attorney.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure where you're going with this, but Mr. Geier was just appointed the public attorney for Yemassee. So that's why he was telling you that he would be...
Yes, but how is it possible that he as an attorney can handle 2 cases when we were told by many attorneys that they could only handle 1 case and not both?
Because it's a conflict of interest.
Yes, I agree.
He's paid to represent you, but if he's the public defender for the town, then he has to represent both of you.
Well,
there's only one public defender.
But there's still 2 cases, and we have been charged under a statute that is incorrectly printed on the ticket. It is my guess that that has happened for several years now, where the statute cited is incorrectly printed for simple possession, perhaps other statutes.
How is the statute incorrect?
Well, would you like... I have already sent an email to Chris. I can send it directly to you if you like, but the picture that I show states that it's a 44-53-0374, parentheses, capital D, lower parentheses, 4. The actual statute is 44-53-370, parentheses, lowercase d, parentheses, 4. And as a data scientist, I would be willing to excuse the leading 0, but there is no capital D in that statute. Also, the police chief took my report agreeing that I probably have a huge civil case against them, and that also agreeing with Deputy Director Robert McCurdy and Captain Skip Mitchell from SLED, Deputy Director Robert McCurdy of the South Carolina Courts Administration, and SLED Captain Skip Mitchell, who all now tell me that I must record the court, because if the documentation that I have shown them already is true, I don't see how it couldn't be, then they are breaking several laws. So I don't know what to do here. We need those videos. Is there some way that you can get the videos from Yemassee?
I cannot get the videos from Yemassee.
Okay. Does Chris Geier have to physically go there to get them, or can you call him and ask him to call them and provide us with the videos before because we have to she has to take off from work. She's living hand to mouth now, especially because they took $800 and something from her. They took my father's cremation money, and when I told them on the scene that my father had just died, Corporal Mann said, okay. And, you know, when I was there, I thought about that as being rather callous, but whatever, you know, you just got to go through it. But then when I watched the video, I noticed that after he says, okay, a few minutes later he says, oh, and by the way, he says, oh, and again, I'm sorry for your loss. So I get that he can lie to civilians, and I get that he can be callous to human beings, but it's not legal to lie to police officers, and I already filed with the FBI, the Hampton sheriff, and his boss that he had lied about the reason for the stop. Now, Chief Josh Detter did say, hey, I'm just spitballing here, but it's possible that Corporal Mann did not see that you actually did signal. And I said, sure, except the video shows both angles. It shows my angle showing my car signaling well before I changed lanes safely, and it shows his eyes looking at my car. So really what we'd like to have is our money refunded and an apology from all of the officers involved with this case, but I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. Now, what I'm having to do is sell my house and try to hire Morgan & Morgan, who won't talk to me unless I give them $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you can take down your number and have Mr. Geier give you a call when you return to the office on Monday, but other than that, I'm not really sure what to tell you.
You get that we are scheduled to show up on Thursday, and they finally admitted
Yes, sir.
they finally admitted what time we are to appear, but they still refuse to give this to us in writing. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. All right, well, as Christopher Geier is the public attorney for his client, Yemassee Municipal Court, I am requesting that he have the other videos mailed to both of our addresses so that I can review them in time to show up at 3 p.m. on the 19th, unless somehow this is dismissed or delayed or covered up. You know, there's no record online that I've even paid. There's
Yemassee doesn't have an online index.
Yeah, I noticed that. But they'll still take the money. So if I type in my ticket number, it accepts my name and the ticket number and asks for my credit card number again, even though I've already paid. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. You know, nobody knows. Nobody knew the name, the statute of the law that allows them to charge over the maximum amount, even though the last time that Yemassee Municipal Court was audited by the state auditor gigged them for that. He said that he recommends that the officers are required to undergo training to know how much the maximum is, and then it was $247, I think, for a maximum of $200, and the auditor gigged them for that. Now it's $615 for a maximum of $200, and you and Mr. Geier have told me that that's just de rigueur, I think is in French, or a common practice. But we're fighting that. We're fighting everything because she's going to lose her job as a teacher in the state of Florida. If she doesn't get this overturned, dismissed, or adjudicated in her favor, she loses her job. Now, we will have, of course, an opportunity to appeal unless Mr. Geier disallows us from raising these issues. Then, as I understand it under South Carolina law, we will not be allowed to appeal these issues. Also, I noticed under South Carolina law, because I've been working like 70 hours a week on this project since we got pulled over, and what I noticed was under South Carolina law, the judge is forbidden to tell the jury to seek the truth. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. That would seem to be.
This, and I will have Mr. Geier give you a call on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Stanley 1 Metro 1 clear.
Hampton, Holly 4, copy, traffic stop.